residents to turn and not have to wait in line, and just keeps traffic moving in the morning.
It's safe to say many of our residents are familiar with the German Coast Farmers Market. They draw hundreds of folks to their Saturday market in Destrehan each week.
We are providing fresh, local produce to our community and have been doing that. We're in our 21st year. Right there.
And the market isn't just catering to the East Bank. Every Wednesday, the market's vendors set up
Good evening and welcome to the St. Charles Parish Council meeting on Monday, March 10th, 2025 at 6 p.m. in the council chambers in the parish courthouse. Please silence all electronic devices and remove all hats. The meeting is called to an order with a prayer and a pledge of allegiance from Father Vincent Wynn with Holy Family Catholic Church in Luling.
In the name of the Father, and Son, and Holy Spirit. From the Gospel according to St. Matthew. The King who said to those at his right hand, "Come, O blessed of my Father, inherit the kingdom prepared for you from the foundation of the world. For I was hungry, and you gave me food. I was thirsty, and you gave me drink. I was a stranger, and you welcomed me. I was naked, and you clothed me. I was sick, and you visited me. I was in prison, and you came to me. Truly I say to you, as you did to one of the least of these my brethren, you did it to me." Almighty God, our Heavenly Father, we give you thanks for the countless blessings that you have bestowed on our nation, our community, and our homes. Bless our land with honorable industry, sound learning, and pure manners. Save us from violence, discord, and confusion, from pride and arrogance, and from every evil way. In the time of prosperity, fill our hearts with thankfulness, and in the day of trouble, do not let our trust in you fail. Send down upon those who hold office in the parish of St. Charles the spirit of wisdom, charity, and justice, that with steadfast purpose they may faithfully serve in their offices to promote the well-being of all people. Through Jesus Christ, our Lord. Amen. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you, Father Vincent. Approval of the minutes. A motion and a second are needed to approve the minutes from the regular meeting of February 24th, 2025. A motion by Councilwoman Skiba, second by Councilman Commerdale. Please cast your votes. And that passes unanimously. Special business, proclamations, canvas returns, etc. 2025-0060, proclamation, ArcFest in St. Charles Parish. Ms. Skiba.
Thank you, Madam Chair. Whereas the Arc of St. Charles is a nonprofit organization committed to providing services and support that enable people of all ages with developmental and intellectual disabilities and special needs to attain their potential. And whereas the ARC strives to promote and maintain a high level of professionalism in all areas and to maximize all resources, human and financial, in the interest of helping all persons with intellectual and developmental disabilities and special needs. And whereas the 21st annual ARC Fest is the weekend of March 15th to the 16th, 2025, from 8 a.m. to 8 p.m. at the West Bank Bridge Park in Luling. And whereas proceeds from ARC Fest benefit the participants and services of the ARC of St. Charles. Now therefore be it resolved, we the members of the St. Charles Parish Council and the Parish President do hereby proclaim March 15th to 16th, 2025 as ARC Fest in St. Charles Parish, and encourage all citizens in the parish to attend the festival at the West Bank Bridge Park. And I believe we have Lauren Collins, Brandy Hughes, and Donna Guillory here to accept.
Good evening. We would just like to say, as a part of the ARC of St. Charles, that we thank you and continue to thank you for your supporting efforts from the parish, and look forward to all of our community endeavors with you guys. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you. File number 2025-0061, proclamation, Retired Teachers Day in St. Charles Parish. Mr. Brouillet.
Thank you, Madam Chairman. Whereas Louisiana's retired teachers have devoted their careers to the education and training of tens of thousands of Louisiana's youth, and whereas Louisiana's retired teachers have provided job and social skills training for adults throughout the state, and whereas Louisiana's retired teachers have rendered valuable service in diverse leadership roles in their communities and institutions throughout their careers, and continue to render such services as retirees. And whereas Louisiana's retired teachers represent the profession which is given the basic responsibility for launching the careers of state and national leaders and for laying the foundation for the welfare of all members of our society. And whereas Louisiana's retired teachers have toiled ceaselessly to improve the quality of life in the state and nation, often in less than adequate circumstances and for less than adequate pay. And whereas Louisiana's retired teachers represent a tremendous pool of experience and training which remains dedicated to the betterment of society everywhere, and whereas Louisiana's retired teachers represent a loyal, patriotic, and concerned citizenry which provides dedicated and dependable support to the leaders in our communities, state, and nation. Now therefore be it resolved, we the members of the St. Charles Parish Council and the Parish President do hereby proclaim Thursday, March 20th, 2025 as Retired Teachers Day in St. Charles Parish. And I believe Billy Picard and some of the other officers of the Retired Teachers Association are here. If you would join us up at the stage, please.
Good evening, members of the St. Charles Parish Council, Parish President Jewell. I want to thank everyone on the council. We do have a couple members. I serve as president of the St. Charles unit for the retired teachers. In St. Charles Parish, we have approximately 900 retirees, not just teachers, but educators, people who were educators. And I'm sure all of you have had teachers you remember. So on behalf of our officers, let me announce them too. We have two of our vice presidents, Joette Sermon, Barbara Clement Wilson, and our secretary, Connie Garsan. On behalf of all of us, I want to thank you for declaring that day, March 20th, as Retired Teachers Day. And I didn't say, but Lysandra and Michelle are members of our unit. So thank you very much for your support.
Thank you all. File number 2025-0062, Proclamation National Kidney Month and World Kidney Day in St. Charles Parish. Proclamation. Whereas kidneys are vital organs that remove waste and toxins, regulate blood pressure, balance fluids, and support overall health and wellness, and whereas an estimated 36 million Americans are living with kidney disease and are unaware of their condition until it has reached an advanced stage. And whereas simple blood and urine tests can detect kidney disease, allowing timely treatment to slow or prevent its progression. And whereas March is known as National Kidney Month, and Thursday, March 13th, 2025, as World Kidney Day. And whereas the National Kidney Foundation of Louisiana works to raise public awareness about kidney health, provides kidney health screenings, and educates about the life-changing impact of living organ donation. And whereas the National Kidney Foundation of Louisiana aims to unite communities in advocacy, support, and education for individuals and families affected by kidney disease. Now, therefore, be it resolved, we, the members of the St. Charles Parish Council and the Parish President, do hereby proclaim the month of March 2025 as National Kidney Month and proclaim Thursday, March 13th, 2025, as World Kidney Day in St. Charles Parish, and urge all citizens to prioritize their kidney health by getting tested, support those living with kidney disease, and consider the selfless act of becoming a living organ donor. Miss Ingrid Amador was unable to be here tonight, but we'll make sure that she gets this. Reports, finance and administrative activities, file number 2025-0067, St. Charles Community Health Center.
Good evening. My name's Shatrian Robertson. Can y'all hear me okay? Yeah. And, oh great. I was wondering if you had our slide deck. Okay. So I'm Shatrian Robertson. I'm the Senior Vice President over Population Health with Access Health Louisiana. I've met a lot of you guys before. I usually come once a year, but we operate, as you know, 2 primary medical care health centers, one in Luling and one in Norco. In the parish, and there they are. And in addition to our primary medical encounters, we also deliver comprehensive behavioral health services, including substance use services for the community. Last year, we served over 25,000 encounters with patients. That was on average about 3 to 3.5 visits per patient, which is consistent with indicators of being a medical home for those patients. And so tonight, while there's many benefits to being our patient, I think on the next slide we list some of those, like our in-house pharmacy and whatnot. I'm excited to share with you just some updates around some new staff and some new services that we have to offer our patients, especially the most vulnerable patients. You guys have been talking about it being National Kidney Month, and and Kidney Awareness Day and having the importance of a medical home. And so oftentimes with our patients, especially the most vulnerable patients, we find that they kind of get lost and disconnected from their medical home. And so we're introducing tonight a new service called home visits for those most vulnerable patients. And so with me tonight, I have two staff members, two of my colleagues, Miss Peggy Barrios, who is our nurse care manager over our new home visit program. And we also have Miss Latina Hunter Grover, who is our clinical case manager for the Luling Clinic, serving the parish. She's based out of Luling, though. And so, I don't know, Miss Laquina, do you want to say something about the services that you're providing?
What the services we provide is at the Luling Community Health Center, and I would be the case manager that would introduce the public to different community-based activities community-based organizations that we have that they might not be aware of, like such as services that the Council on Aging provides. Also, the ARC provides a lot of services, and all of the services that we provide, most of them are at no cost. Most of them are covered through their insurance. So if they find that they're at a doctor's visit and they need case management services, then they can get in contact with me directly at the Luling Clinic.
And she's a resident, right?
Yes, I'm a resident. I've been here just about most of my life, and I've done case management at all levels. I've worked for the Louisiana Department of Health. I've worked at the Council on Aging. I've also worked at the ARC. So I'm very privy to a lot of the organizations that they have in the community, and I would be so happy to share those with people who need those services.
And then with Miss Barrios, if you want to come up here and join me. So just a brief moment about our new home visit services, because we're really excited about them. Peggy here goes out to patients' homes. Oftentimes she's looping in our case manager or some of our health coaches to accompany her based on the patient's needs. She's doing a comprehensive medication reconciliation with the patient, screening them for any social needs, and working with the patient or their caretakers in a lot of instances to develop comprehensive care plans with the ultimate goal of trying to get those patients reconnected back into care with their primary care provider.
So what I do, and I feel a very big privilege to be able to go into a patient's home where you can see the environment that their health is being affected, and I can give back information to their providers, which on the providers end doesn't get to see how the patient actually lives. And when they come into the office, if their blood pressure is high, they may be nervous, they may be out of their medications. Stressors affect that. We don't know what their kidneys are doing, and hypertension directly affects kidney health. So we can evaluate all of that based on what we find out in the home in a better way. And I go in with that for a purpose to shed a light on it with the providers and make a difference in their health. I've actually been able to evaluate patients with white coat syndrome that come to the office with a very high blood pressure, but at home they are within normal limits. So why would we medicate them at a higher level and have them be symptomatic to be too low in their normal environment? So it really makes a big difference, and I enjoy the fact that I can make that in a different way out of the hospital setting and out of the clinic setting, which I'm used to, and have people get better and have a relationship with our clinic and their providers in a way that they didn't have before. So if y'all have any questions, I'll be happy to answer.
And so this is new for us. I labeled it a pilot on there because we're figuring out with Peggy some of the internal workflows and mechanisms of how to really execute this and do it well and keep everyone informed on the care team about whether or not, like, Peggy's going to be seeing one of their patients during the day. And so our plan is that, and I have some data on here, so you can see we've been tracking it pretty closely to see how well we're doing. And in the 6-month period, we've actually moved the patients, if you look on the trend line, the patients in blue are the home visit patients. And if you see kind of before we started in October, the gap almost looked like they was going in the wrong direction. They were becoming more disconnected and their blood pressure out of control. And since we started intervening, she's closing that gap. And so we're bringing them back into control with the rest of those patients with hypertension over time. So we've moved from about 58% in control up to 73% in control over the 6 months since we started. So we're really excited about that. It's going really well, and we're hoping by summer that we can expand it to all of our patients, because right now we just started with the Medicare patients, but we want to offer it to our Medicaid and commercial and uninsured patients as well. So, thank you, and I think that's about it. If you want to move on, we have a testimonial from Dr. Joseph. That's the provider that Peggy works with.
He's our medical director.
And then if you want to go to the next one, I think we just had, we love seeing you guys out at the community health events and screenings that we do with you guys. So thanks so much for your support. Have a good night.
Any questions from the council? Okay, thank you, ladies. File number 2025. File number 2025-0068. Parish President remarks and report.
Thank you, Chairwoman. First, we'll start. I know this is really hard to see. Hopefully, shows up a little bit better on your printed form there. The 2025 asphalt maintenance program is officially, the bids have officially come back. The project will improve more than 20 roads throughout the parish that were graded either as poor or very poor. The program should put us very close, if not achieving the goal, our stated goal internally, which was to remove all poor and very poor streets from the list. We do have 2 streets that will remain on there. They are part of a larger project that will involve drainage work as well. But this is over 10 miles of streets, and we're excited to see this kick off. East Bank water intake. The East Bank water intake project is about 75% complete. The recent milestones include the installation of the new electrical building, which you can see there on the left, as well as panels, guardrails, and gantry structure that will help us pull heavy pumps. You can see that there on the right. Courthouse safety bollards. Our Department of Homeland Security Emergency Preparedness received assistance from the State Homeland Security Fund to obtain and install security bollards at the slope ramps to the entrances of the courthouse. These bollards will prevent someone from innocently or intentionally driving vehicles too close to these entrances. And this was an effort done to keep our employees inside the building safe. Procurement surplus auction. The procurement office is holding another surplus auction from March 12th to the 26th. This auction will be online to sell off equipment that we no longer need, and will help us recoup funds for those items. We had a very small auction in December that raised just a little over $1,400 from mostly old generators, but we have had auctions that have brought into the parish hundreds of thousands of dollars. The WIOA is gearing up for the summer work experience program, where we help our younger adults gain valuable experience and skills. As well, the applications for this program are due by April 1st for consideration. The program allows participants to work in real settings and teaches them interviewing, application, and life skills to make them better job candidates. If they are interested, we have information on the board and on the screen, and this information will be going out through all of our media channels. The East Bank Bridge Park construction. If you've driven past the East Bank Bridge Park recently, you've noticed that fence posts are being installed around the inside of the park, marking another milestone in the project. The parking lot is also getting paved in the coming weeks. We hope to have this park back up and running in a couple of months. As you can see, it is a total mess, but it will come together very quickly, and we are doing everything we can. We actually got an exemption from the Corps of Engineers to be able to do some work out here at the East Bank Bridge Park, pretty much with the exception of digging deep footings for light poles and other things like that. So we're doing all the work that we can do. and when the river comes back down, we'll get that deep underground work done that needs to get done as well. Okay, Bethune Park Playground. The playground equipment has been delivered and is starting to go up to complete the new fields, pavilion, walking path, and the basketball court that are being installed at Bethune. The whole park renovation will also include a historical marker for Bethune High School because this is the site and location of that high school. If y'all have any questions on that, I will tell you that playground equipment has been very delayed. It's just a long lead time on certain specialty items. And in fact, we have a piece that we've ordered for a repair on the Muntz playground. And I know that one is backed up due to a particular reason. But playground equipment, long lead time for some reason right now. Pickleball open play at the community center. You asked, and the recreation department is delivering. Indoor pickleball is now available every Monday and Friday at the Edward A. Dufresne Community Center from 9 to 12. Pickleball has been a very, very popular sport that we've recently brought to the parish, so we're excited to offer it in both an indoor and an outdoor setting. Swamp School registration is ongoing. The June sessions of Swamp School are booked, but if you are looking to get your campers in for the July session, registration opens Saturday at midnight. Registration fills up very quickly, so if you want to make sure your campers have a space, please be sure to log on promptly and be ready to secure your spots. That means you're going to have to stay up late and get on right when it opens. For more information, please visit www.scpparksandrec.com. January 2025, sales tax comparisons, sales tax collections for January of 2025 versus January of 2024 are down slightly. You can see on the screen just about 1.02%. The sales tax department does expect this number to rise throughout the year. I will also make the note that pretty much every year that we've been in office, each year has succeeded the next. So we've really not had a bad year yet. But obviously a slow start to 2025. Want to thank the employees and all of the crews who were not only in the Desaumens and the Luling parades, but our crews who did so much to set up for the parades as well as clean up after the parades. They did a great job getting all of the routes cleaned up, and we appreciate all the work that they do in making Mardi Gras possible in St. Charles Parish. That concludes my report.
Thank you, Parish President Jewell. Any council questions? Okay, seeing none, we'll move on. Ordinances, resolutions introduced for publication, public hearing. Monday, March 24th, 2025 at 6 p.m. in the council chambers in the courthouse in Hornville. We have no items for the regular agenda. Planning and zoning petitions. 2025-0054. An ordinance to amend the St. Charles Parish zoning ordinance of 1981 to change the zoning classification from OL to R1M across approximately 7 acres on Lot 4A, Champagne Tract, 16139 River Road in Hornville, as requested by Nicholas and Amanda Desidue for LG&E Holdings, LLC. Mr. Albert.
Thank you, Madam Chair. This request is to rezone the subject site from open land to manufactured home park. The zoning would match the existing zoning for the remainder of the property at River Road. The department as well as the Planning Commission recommend approval.
Thank you, Mr. Albert. File number 2025-0054 is now open for public hearing. If there's anyone who would like to come up and speak regarding this item, please do so now. Please state your name and address for the record, and you have 3 minutes to speak. Okay, seeing none, public hearing is closed. Any council discussion? Okay, seeing none, please cast your votes for file number 2025-0054. And that passes unanimously. File number 2025-0055, an ordinance to amend the St. Charles Parish zoning ordinance of 1981 to change the zoning classification from R1AM to C2 on lots B and C, OTAN subdivision, adjacent to 16830 Highway 90, Desaumens, as requested by Mike Nabu for Nabu Brothers, LLC.
Thank you, Madam Chair. This request is to rezone the subject site from single family with manufactured homes to general commercial. The department as well as the Planning Commission recommend approval.
Okay, thank you, Mr. Albert. File number 2025-0055 is now open for public hearing. If there's anyone who would like to come up and speak regarding this item, please do so now. Please state your name and address for the record, and you have 3 minutes to speak. Okay, seeing none, public hearing is closed. Any council discussion? Seeing none, please cast your votes for file number 2025-0055. And that passes unanimously. File number 2025-0056, an ordinance to amend the St. Charles Parish zoning ordinance of 1981 to change the zoning classification from R1A to C1 on Lot 9, Square A, Good Hope Subdivision, 318 Clayton Drive in Norco, as requested by Regina Joseph. Mr. Albert.
Thank you, Madam Chair. This request is to rezone the subject site from single family to general commercial. It's tied to a subsequent special permit use to permit a boarding house. The department as well as the Planning Commission recommend denial. The application for the special permit use is currently tabled with the Planning Commission.
Thank you.
Pending the results of this.
Okay, thank you, Mr. Albert. File number 2025-0056 is now open for public hearing. If there's anyone who would like to come up and speak regarding this item, please do so now. Please state your name and address for the record, and you have 3 minutes to speak. Seeing none, public hearing is closed. Councilman Fisher.
Thank you, Madam Chair. This is in my district, and I've received several emails and messages in opposition to this change in zoning.
All right, thank you, Councilman Fisher. Anyone else? Okay, let's go ahead and cast our votes for file number 2025-0056. And that fails unanimously. File number 2025-0057, an ordinance to amend the St. Charles Parish zoning ordinance of 1981 to change the zoning classification from R1A to R1AM on lot 35-A-1, Square 32, New Sarpy subdivision at 550 West McAdoo Street in New Sarpy, as requested by Bobby Beard. Mr. Albert.
Thank you, Madam Chair. This request is to rezone the subject site from single family to single family with manufactured housing. It's currently split zoned due to a recent lot consolidation. The department as well as Planning Commission recommend approval.
Thank you, Mr. Albert. File number 2025-0057 is now open for public hearing. If anyone would like to come up and speak regarding this item, please do so now. Please state your name and address for the record, and you have 3 minutes to speak. Okay, seeing none, public hearing is closed. Councilman Fisher.
Thank you, Madam Chair. This is also in my district, and have received no opposition to the zoning change.
Thank you, Councilman Fisher. Anyone else? Okay, seeing none, please cast your votes for file number 2025-0057. And that passes unanimously. Ordinance is scheduled for public hearing, introduced at the previous meeting. File number 2025-0049, an ordinance approving and authorizing the execution of a professional services agreement with MSMM Engineering, LLC, to perform consulting work and engineering services for the Texaco Road Rehabilitation Project number P250201 in the not to exceed amount of $86,850. Mr. Bingham.
Thank you, Madam Chair. This is a part of a bigger project. Cousins Canal is going to be sheet piled, and then we will do the Texaco Road. We want to get the design done now so that we have it all together, and we would appreciate your approval of this contract. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Bingham. File number 2025-0049 is now open for public hearing. If there's anyone who would like to come up and speak regarding this item, please do so now. Please state your name and address for the record, and you have 3 minutes to speak. Okay, seeing none, public hearing is closed. Any council discussion? Seeing none, please cast your votes for file number 2025-0049. And that passes unanimously. File number 2025-0050, an ordinance approving the execution of a professional services agreement with Shred Kirkendall and Associates, Inc. to perform engineering services for the Lakewood Pump Station discharge modifications, project number P241106, in the not to exceed amount of $204,885.40. Mr. Bingham.
Thank you, Madam Chair. This project at the Lakewood Pump Station, we currently have a discharge that actually blocks the canal. So what we're going to do is modify that to make that a more efficient canal and make the water flow into the canal better. And we would appreciate your approval of this contract. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Bingham. File number 2025-0050 is now open for public hearing. If there's anyone who would like to come up and speak regarding this item, please do so now. Please state your name and address for the record, and you have 3 minutes to speak. Okay, seeing none, public hearing is closed. Any council discussion? Seeing none, please cast your votes for file number 2025-0050. And that passes unanimously. File number 2025-0051, an ordinance approving and authorizing the execution of a professional services agreement with ELOS Environmental, LLC, for ELOS permits, project number P250202, in the not to exceed amount of $300,000. Mr. Bingham.
Thank you, Madam Chair. This contract is for permitting services, other environmental services, and we use these people on a regular basis, as we do on the second one that will come up next. It is easier for us to do a task order off of a bigger contract so that we can do it over a 2-year period rather than coming back consistently and doing individual contracts for this. We feel like it's a little more transparent, so it's visible that we do it this way. So we appreciate your support for this.
All right, thank you, Mr. Bingham. File number 2025-0051 is now open for public hearing. If there's anyone who would like to come up and speak regarding this item, please do so now. Please state your name and address for the record, and you have 3 minutes to speak. Seeing none, public hearing is closed. Any council discussion? Seeing none, please cast your votes for file number 2025-0051. And that passes unanimously. File number 2025-0052, an ordinance approving and authorizing the execution of a professional services agreement with Bella Marketing, LLC, DBA Coastal Permitting for the Coastal Permits project number P241201 in the not to exceed amount of $300,000. Mr. Bingham.
Thank you, Madam Chair. This is again pretty much the same thing that we have on the previous one. We use both of these companies on a regular basis, and we would appreciate your support on this one for Bella.
Thank you, Mr. Bingham. File number 2025-0052 is now open for public hearing. If there's anyone who would like to come up and speak regarding this item, please do so now. Please state your name and address for the record, and you have 3 minutes to speak.
Good evening, Julie Aber. I'm the owner of Coastal Permitting, and I would just like to thank you for your support, continued support. Circa 2008, I started doing this under VJ's tenure and have continued to do so, and I appreciate working for my home parish and all of the people here. Appreciate you.
Is there anyone else who would like to come up and speak regarding this item? Please do so now. Please state your name and address for the record, and you have 3 minutes to speak. Okay, seeing none, public hearing is closed. And any council discussion, just raise your hand. Mr. Brouillet.
Thank you, Madam Chair. Could either Ms. Aber or you explain just the difference between the two when we use ELOS and when we use
Sure.
Mr. Palmer?
Sure. Bella Marketing, and it used to be Coastal Permitting, has done a lot of work for us in the past, particularly on things like canals, where we're getting permits through the Corps of Engineers. They've done anything that we need them to do, but we have a lot of permits that come up regularly in our system that they do for us. So if we have anything along that lines, we usually use them, but we can use them for other things. They're perfectly capable of doing the others. ELOS, been using them on our big pump stations and other things like that, which are a little bit more complex, involve a few more moving parts. And that's why we have the two, and we've used both of them for a lot. And this is a 2-year contract with a 1-year extension that allows us to do this on a task order basis. It makes it easier on us so that we can identify it and get it started right away, because permitting does take time. Thank you.
Thank you for clarification for the public.
Thank you, Mr. Brouillet. Any other council discussion? Okay, seeing none, please cast your votes for file number 2025-0052. And that passes unanimously. File number 2025-0058, an ordinance approving and authorizing the execution of a contract with LA Contracting Enterprise, LLC, for the Phase 3 water main replacement in Bonnie Carey Spillway, project number WWKS 105, in the amount of $371,000. Mr. Gordon.
Good morning, Madam Chairman, members of the council, Parish President Jewell. So this is Phase 3 of water main replacement in Bonnie Carey Spillway in the bid amount of $371,000. LA Contract Enterprises will provide construction services to construct an 8-inch directionally drilled HDPE water line for approximately 3,800 linear feet with all the necessary appurtenances. Phase 3 is the final phase of this project, and at the conclusion, the parish will have a new secondary water main across the spillway for the Muntz service area. It's also being upgraded from a 6-inch to an 8-inch line. Answer any questions.
Thank you, Mr. Gordon. File number 2025-0058 is now open for public hearing. If there's anyone who would like to come up and speak regarding this item, please do so now. Please state your name and address for the record, and you have 3 minutes to speak. Seeing none, public hearing is closed. Any council discussion? Councilman Fisher.
Thank you, Madam Chair. Mr. Gordon, I'm glad to see it. I know it's been a pet project of yours since you came and joined us. The increase in the 8-inch line is going to help with the water pressure. So hopefully it'll help with the rating and Muntz's water flow. So I know that's coming up this year. You're well involved with that. But I appreciate you staying on it and seeing the project get finished.
Thank
you. Thank you, Councilman Fisher. Any other council discussion? Seeing none, please cast your votes for file number 2025-0058. And that passes unanimously. File number 2025-0059, an ordinance to rescind ordinance number 24-10-6 and to approve a .104 acre temporary construction servitude over property now or formerly owned by Storehouse Lane Investments, LLC, for the Ormond Area Flood Mitigation CN Railroad Culvert Installation Project P200-801. Mr. Raymond, sorry.
Good afternoon, Madam Chairman. This is, as it says, an ordinance authorizing the execution of a servitude agreement for the CN Railroad Culvert Installation Project in Ormond. We would ask that the council unanimously support this.
All right. Thank you, Mr. Raymond. File number 2025-0059 is now open for public hearing. If there is anyone who'd like to come up and speak regarding this item, please do so now. Please state your name and address for the record, and you have 3 minutes to speak. Seeing none, public hearing is closed. Councilman Pillier.
Thank you, Madam Chair. I am so happy to see this going through. This is less than a block away from my house that this project will take place sometime, maybe soon. We'll see something happen, but it's been a long time coming. And this has been one of the obstacles that we've faced in getting the access to the property to do the work, the Jackson bores, 360 inches. So I know I've spouted on this before at this council, so all I can ask for you guys to do is vote for it. Thank you very much.
Okay, thank you, Councilman Pillier. Any other council discussion? All right, seeing none, please cast your votes for file number 2025-0059. And that passes unanimously. Persons to address the council. File number 2025-0069, Ms. Wendy M. Carter, noise ordinance, height of pile, transfer of heavy materials at high river levels. Ms. Carter, you're the only one allowed to speak this evening.
Okay.
Okay.
Okay, I typed it up nice and big so I can read it and not be nervous. So forgive me for reading. Good evening, council. I'm not used to, I should have said Madam Council Chair.
Okay, go ahead.
Okay, my name is Wendy Carter, and my husband Billy and I reside at 403 South Pin Oak Drive, St. Rose, Highland Oaks. I don't know if you've heard it, but Michelle, this morning at 4:18 a.m., we were awakened by a semi-truck going down River Road. So forgive me, I'm sleep deprived, have been since the noise started January 23rd. The noise is so nerve-wracking, it's like we have PTSD on every single noise now. First, I wish to thank Michelle O'Daniels for trying to help us. She's bent over backwards. She's listened to several of our emails from Liz, from Renee, from a lot of people that have tried to get this resolved. Our issue is with the noise surrounding the transporting of heavy materials over the levee, usually beginning around 4:15 a.m. in the morning. The trucks go by, most of them using Jake brakes. Most of them have modified exhaust systems that go way above our 6-foot fence. They go up the levee, get their beds filled, then the machinery blows the horn for them to move on continuously. I sent videos of the noise. I hope that you all have heard them. I do have them if you'd like me to play them. They're 10-second videos. The trucks run approximately 3-hour round trip runs. This goes on from 4:15 in the morning to 6:30 or 7:30 at night. Every single day, weekends included. The machinery finally winds down about 8 p.m., giving us some quiet. It is very nerve-wracking and frustrating. I'm concerned with daylight savings time starting today that the time frame will lengthen, giving them more time during the day to run the trucks. We've called the police, contacted Michelle, and contacted Eddie Renton. At first, the police said they would go over there as a noise ordinance issue. The sheriff told them to tell us there's nothing they could do. It's an industrial area. The officer told us the trucks have a right to have their Jake brake and modified exhaust systems. We have asked them to stop speeding. Excuse me. We were told it's too dangerous to stop them and they would have a difficult and unsafe time pulling them off the road to a safe spot. They would also only be able to catch the first or the last truck. The last officer told us we need to contact our council representative, which he realized that we did. He said also we should contact our state representative, file a class action suit, and contact the news. Haven't done any of that yet. I would like to know how to remedy this terrible noise pollution. Is the parish at fault for allowing our subdivision to be built directly across the street from an industrial area, as Eddie Renton claims he told them not to do? We have put up hurricane boards on the windows, put every available pillow we have, including couch cushions, in the windows. We already have blackout blinds, liners, and drapes. We close every door. We put blankets against every door bottom. We sleep with cotton balls in our ears. We dread the coming morning. Our home is not a sanctuary anymore. We can't sleep. We fight with each other over what to do to stop this. We can't list our home for sale, as no one in their right mind would buy there with all the racket all day long. When homes come up for sale in our neighborhood, they usually sell immediately too. When my husband Billy went over the levee to see the progress, Mr. Renton was there. Mr. Renton asked Billy who he was, and Billy asked him who he was. He said he was Eddie Renton and was going to have him arrested. He said he owns the Bachelor, the levee, and 5 feet of our servitude. He said, told Billy to leave, and Billy did. I was asking if this is true, and Michelle has assured me that it is true, that he does own that servitude. I originally told Michelle that our HOA paid to have the servitude ditches filled with pipes, and we maintain that servitude. I don't know if you know our area, but it's very neat and well kept. The trucks have run into the servitude, creating huge ruts that should have been cited as failure to maintain control of their vehicle. The ruts pose a serious danger to any vehicle that would happen to veer off the road into them. And as you recall, a young lady recently lost her life there. We feel the noise has increased since we started complaining. My husband has taken several videos of the trucks coming and going all before 7 a.m., which we thought was noise ordinance. It shouldn't be happening. I was going to play one, but I think you've already heard them. I have several other videos if you'd like to listen to them, 10 seconds where they're coming or going, up or down. What can we do? I Googled the projects that go to Meadows, and this one is a serious project that is not expected to be completed until 2027. It's not acceptable. We can't live this way. I invite any and all of you to come by the house at 4:15 a.m. in the morning, and you can sit and listen to what goes on constantly. Why don't they use the road behind the levee that was built? Why don't they go out and back, use an alliance before the noise ordinance time?
Okay,
I know
excuse
that's
me,
kind of
Ms.
tough
Carter.
on-
Are you going to need additional time?
No, I'm at the end.
Okay.
Liz has also submitted videos that shows the ramp is by her house. If they went to Alliance, it's away from the neighborhood and away from 10 other homes.
Okay.
That would also stop the trucks.
Thank you. We're going to see if the council has any questions now. Councilwoman O'Daniels.
Yes, point of personal privilege. I'd like to thank Wendy and her husband and Liz for coming here and alerting us to this situation. As we spoke, there's some confusion as to how the ordinance is written and how it's being interpreted, and we're looking into that. So I appreciate you coming and telling your story and your experiences to the council. Thank you.
Well, I hope you listen. Thank you.
Thank you, Ms. Carter. Resolutions. File number 2025-0063. A resolution notifying the Louisiana Department of Environmental Quality that the St. Charles Parish Department of Wastewater has reviewed the Municipal Water Pollution Prevention Environmental Audit Report for LA 0073539 AI 39862 for the Destrehan Wastewater Treatment Plant and set forth the required action. Mr. DeGeneres.
Yes, ma'am. This is really just a scorecard of the plant and the collection system. The lower score is the better score for us. We have a score of 80. Our problem areas is the age of the plant, which will probably drop off next year when we do the construction at the Destrehan plant. And then overflows and bypass, 30 points on that. We do have some problems with the collection system in Destrehan that we are currently working on with some projects that we are designing right now.
Okay.
That's it.
All right, thank you. File number 2025-0063 is now open for public comment. If there's anyone who would like to come up and speak regarding this item, please do so now. Please state your name and address for the record, and you have 3 minutes to speak. Seeing none, public comment is closed. Any council discussion? Councilman Fisher.
Thank you, Madam Chair. Dave, so the lift stations, the new collection stations, all of that stuff is all part of the score that we go into these projects?
It'll help the score. It'll probably
score.
reduce the overflows that we have. So the new force main we're doing in St. Rose with the station there, and then the one in New Sharpie, that'll help reduce everything in the long run. So it'll hopefully keep the score even lower.
Awesome. Thank you.
All right, thank you, Councilman Fisher. Any other council discussion? Seeing none, please cast your votes for file number 2025-0063. That passes unanimously. File number 2025-0064, a resolution notifying the Louisiana Department of Environmental Quality that the St. Charles Parish Department of Wastewater has reviewed the Municipal Water Pollution Prevention Environmental Audit Report for LA 0073521 AI 43357 Hornville Wastewater Treatment Plant and set forth the required action. Mr. DeGeneres.
Yes, ma'am. This is for the Hornville plant. We have a score of 120, a little bit higher. Areas of concern or the loading in the plant. That's one of the reasons we're doing the expansion of that plant, so that should reduce that. the age of the plant when we do the expansion. That will also probably drop that number as well. And we do have some overflow problems in the collection system that we're currently working on by doing some pipelining and things like that to help reduce a lot of those issues.
Thank you, Mr. DeGeneres. File number 2025-0064 is now open for public comment. If there's anyone who would like to come up and speak regarding this item, please do so now. Please state your name and address for the record, and you have 3 minutes to speak. Seeing none, public comment is closed. Any council discussion? Seeing none, please cast your votes for file number 2025-0064. And that passes unanimously. File number 2025-0065, a resolution notifying the Louisiana Department of Environmental Quality that the St. Charles Parish Department of Wastewater has reviewed the Municipal Water Pollution Prevention Environmental Audit Report for LA 00-32131, AI 43356, Luling Oxidation Pond, and set forth the required action. Mr. DeGeneres.
This one has the best score yet, is 46.5. We do have problems with overflows and bypasses here as well. We have done some to alleviate that. We had the force main from St. John Station all the way to the pond was replaced recently. That was an old AC line that would be breaking about 3 to 5 times a year. So that is going to hopefully reduce some of it. Once again, we'll still do some pipeline in this area as well to hopefully reduce the I&I to prevent the overflows.
Thank you, Mr. DeGeneres. File number 2025-0065 is now open for public comment. If there's anyone who would like to come up and speak regarding this item, please do so now. Please state your name and address for the record, and you have 3 minutes to speak. Seeing none, public comment is closed. Any council discussion? Seeing none, please cast your vote for file number 2025-0065. And that passes unanimously. File number 2025-0066, a resolution endorsing a waiver from Appendix C, Subdivision Regulations of 1981, Section 3, Geometric Standards, B Blocks 3, arrangement as requested by RES Barataria LLC. Mr. Albert.
Thank you, Madam Chair. This request is for a minor subdivision. Specifically, the waiver is to allow for a lot without frontage on a public street. This is in furtherance of a drainage project and will later be combined with the surrounding parcels. Mr. Bingham can speak on the drainage project. The department recommends approval, and the Planning Commission has approved the subdivision pending the waiver.
Okay, thank you, Mr. Albert. File number 2025-0066 is now open for public comment. If there's anyone who would like to come up and speak regarding this item, please do so now. Please state your name and address for the record, and you have 3 minutes to speak. Seeing none, public comment is closed. Any council discussion? Okay, please cast your votes for file number 2025-0066. And that passes unanimously. Appointments. File number 2025-0048, a resolution appointing a member to the St. Charles Parish Library Board of Control as the District 1 representative. Council Chairman will accept nominations from the District 1 council member to fill the vacancy created by the expiration of the term of Ms. Charlene Alexander Armstrong, term to begin April 1st, 2025 and expire April 1st, 2030. Councilwoman Wilson, do you have a nominee?
Yes, thank you, Madam Chair. I would like to renominate Charlene Alexander Armstrong.
Thank you, Councilwoman Wilson. Councilwoman Wilson would like to nominate Ms. Charlene Alexander Armstrong. A motion and a second are needed to close the nominations. We have a motion by Councilman Commerdale, a second by Councilman Fisher. Please cast your votes to close the nominations. And that passes unanimously. Meetings, announcements, notices, etc. Meetings. Community Action Advisory Board will be held Wednesday, March 12th, 2025 at 12 p.m. at the Department of Community Services main office in New Sarpy. The Pontchartrain Levy District meeting will be held Monday, March 17th, 2025 at 6 p.m. at the Pontchartrain Levy District Headquarters Complex, 2069 Railroad Avenue in Letcher. The Library Board of Control meeting will be held Tuesday, March 18th, 2025 at 6 p.m. in the Council Chambers. The Board of Adjustment ZBA meeting will be held Thursday, March 20th, 2025 at 6 p.m. in the Council Chambers. St. Charles Parish Council meeting will be held Monday, March 24th at 6 p.m. in the Council Chambers. Announcements. Important dates for the Louisiana Constitutional Amendments and Special District 6 Justice of the Peace, March 29, 2025 election. Early voting starts Saturday, March 15, 2025. The polls will be closed Sunday, March 16, 2025, and reopen Monday, March 17, 2025 through Saturday, March 22nd, 2025. From 8:30 a.m. to 6 p.m. at the West Bank Courthouse, 15045 River Road in Hornville, and on the East Bank at the Arterbury Building, 14564 River Road in New Sarpy. On Tuesday, March 25th, 2025, it's the last day to request absentee by mail ballots. Friday, March 28th, 2025, is the last day for the registrar to receive the voted absentee ballots. Saturday, March 29th, 2025, is Election Day from 7 a.m. to 8 p.m. Adjournment. A motion and a second are needed to adjourn. Motion by Councilman Fisher, second by Councilwoman Skiba. Please cast your votes to adjourn. And that passes unanimously. Have a great evening. We are officially adjourned.